Yo. In the building, DJ Hampton Stampede.
DJ Hampton Stampede.
Chris Styles, Isha, Slim, Comedian Q Turner in the building. Got people filing. It's another beautiful Wednesday. How's everybody week so far?
Long.
Good.
God, damn, y'all had some hard weeks. Look at y'all faces.
Only Wednesday, y'all cheer up, man.
Slim, you ain't even say how your week was. You just made a noise.
White people been cutting up all Black History Month.
Man, what else is new, man? They do a lot of cutting up, man. They get on my goddamn nerves, man.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here. Come.
Ish, glad to see you made it. What, you know, you working that slave ship, so we appreciate you.
Somebody got to do it.
Word. I think we got some dope topics for everybody tonight. ndtees.com/risky logo merch. You know, Spotify, Anchor, Apple, YouTube, of course. We also got the Facebook streaming from our group. So I definitely invite you to join the group. I'll put the link in the bio as well in the description. But yeah, I'm excited, man. Let's get started. So, first topic. Let me share my screen really quick. So, do you guys know who Richard Cooper is?
No? Heard of him.
Okay. So he's an author. Yeah. He's an author. The main book he wrote was actually in 2020. Hey, B, do me a favor, mute your mic while you're not on. And Q, can you do the same? So the Unplugged Alpha is the name of the book. So it's very alpha, very red pill, very manosphere oriented. And he makes a lot of statements that some may deem outlandish, some may deem true. But the gentleman's name is Richard Cooper. So I'm going to share my screen to show you guys one of his statements, and we'll get everybody's feedback on it. All right. So now, if you can see it well, there's a bunch of different things that he said, you know, that are also in his book that he posted on Twitter that some people would deem controversial. But the one we're going to analyze is remove sex from a relationship. You will discover that 90% of women have nothing to offer men in relationships. Conversely, remove money from a relationship. You will learn that 90% of women won't see a reason to be in said relationship. We can do it one by one. I want to first analyze the first part. Remove sex from a relationship. You will discover that 90% of women have nothing to offer men in relationships. So, is Richard Cooper right? Let me state it one more time. Remove sex from a relationship. You will discover that 90% of women have nothing to offer men in relationships. Is Mr. Richard Cooper correct? B, we'll start with you.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why is that?
Yeah, I mean, because nowadays you can just look at a woman and tell she ain't got nothing to offer but booty. Go through, pick out a woman, Sean and him. Just pick out any woman on your Facebook page. And half of their pictures is half-ass naked, tongue all out, middle finger all up in there. All this other bullshit. You ain't got nothing to offer but sex. You have there's conversations that I have with women, and I can just tell right off the bat, you ain't good for nothing but sex. You can't even hold an intellectual conversation. Titties all out, piercings all over the place. You ain't good for nothing but just sex.
Okay. Geez, Louise. As he sips his Cavassier and ginger ale. Okay, B, I see you. Q, what you think? They got their asses out. After pictures, all 5,000 of my friends on Facebook. If it's 4,000 women, they all got their ass out in some pictures.
If you got 4,000 friends, 75% of them got their asses out.
75.
Okay.
Damn. So what's the percentage again?
90%. It says that remove sex from a relationship, you will discover that 90% of women have nothing to offer men in relationships.
I agree with the statement. I don't agree with the percentage though. And I think it's one because that's what men are accepting. So it's being sold. So it's like modern, not want to say modern day, but like a form of prostitution. You give them sex, they give you money or whatever it is that they have to offer. So I don't think it's 90% though. I think there are a lot of women that have a lot more to offer than just sex and relationships.
What would you say the percentage would be?
What would I say the percentage is?
Mm-hmm.
Probably like 60-40.
So 60%.
So like 60%, yeah, of women have more to offer than just sex. Probably 40% of women only have sex to offer.
Okay. So 40% only have sex to offer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah, I do agree that there's a pretty decent number of women that's all that they have to offer.
B, do you think that's fair? Or do you think that 90% is more accurate?
Well, 90%, I would say that's probably a bit extreme. But from what I would say, I mean, from the women I encounter and I look at their Facebook posts, and from the women I talk to, and from the way they dress, me personally, they ain't got nothing to offer me but sex. Like, I mean, what you good for? Nothing but just sex. I mean, I can't hold an intellectual conversation with you. You come with kids, so you are right from a 10 to a -0 because you got kids. I ain't dating no one with kids. That's about the picture. I mean,
Put him on mute. Put him on mute.
Wait, hold on. So wait a minute. You're saying that not only what did you say? 85%, not 90%?
I would say 75%. Let's just go that 75%.
Okay.
Being generous, B.
Well, I actually am.
So what do you believe, B?
What do I believe in terms of what?
The percentage. What is the percentage that you would go?
75%. 75%.
Okay. So only 25% of women have more to offer.
Yes, that's a very
now
low number.
Okay. So now you said if she has a kid, she goes from a 10 to a 0.
-0.
-0.
How the fuck? How you do that?
She could be Beyonce. If she got a child, her rank just went from a 10. And I'm being generous because Beyonce ain't all that fine. But we go from a 10 to a -0. I ain't dating no one with kids. That's a negative.
How old are you?
I'm 30. I'm not dating no one with kids. No, I ain't getting involved with the baby daddy, baby mama drama. I ain't want to meet the baby daddy. I really don't even want to meet you, so because you got a child, so I don't know why you're talking to me. But I'm just being nice instead of just cutting you off immediately. No, I'm not. No, because the return on investment for you dating a woman with kids. For one, a woman with kids, she's never going to respect you like she will her baby father. That's first and foremost, and that comes from personal, but yet anecdotal, that I will say experience. I mean, the return on investment, her kids aren't going to respect you the same way they're going to respect their father. There's no love for a stepfather. A stepfather is only good for providing for some seeds that's not his. I'm not doing that. That's a sucker move. That's a simp move. So you already went from a 10 to a -0 with me on that.
And then on top of that, 75% of women only have sex to offer.
Yeah, I mean, you can't hold an intellectual conversation. Majority of the women nowadays, they don't want to pay bills. They don't know how to date or court a man. that's important in a man's life as well. It's like, I mean, what are you good for real?
But
What are you
doesn't
good
that speak to the caliber of women that you're attracting?
Uh-oh.
Absolutely.
I mean,
for? Well, okay, so
that says more about you than the women. I mean,
well, hey, listen, I can't help they attracted to Reverend B. I can't help they attracted
the
to Reverend
hood rats
So
love B, huh?
But no, Slim, to your point, I will say that there has been some men who have come into my life, you know, and I've sat down and I've talked to them, and they have said what you said, that it could be the caliber of women that I attract. That could be true, but on the flip it, I can't help that you attracted to me, because truth be told, really 9 out of 10 times the women coming to me, I'm not even coming to them. So I can't help you approaching me and you attracted to me. I mean, you choosing to come to speak to my country black ass. I ain't engaged in the conversation with you. You chose to come speak to me.
I can see that. Yeah.
okay.
It's my turn, yeah.
You can see what?
No, I can see where women would just be like, let me see, like, you know, where they're just approaching you. I can see that happening.
Oh, well.
Okay. All right. B, okay, we'll come back to you. Poop. Is Richard Cooper correct? 90% of women have nothing to offer men in relationships if it wasn't for sex.
No, that's false. And we see that play out in movies, and I know movies aren't real, but they're usually like a story of real life, right? So a lot of times men will have this woman at home who takes care of the house, who provides a safe space. They just provide comfort. And a lot of times they won't even be sexually they won't have a sexual relationship with that woman at their house, right? But they're never going to leave the woman, and they have this outside relationship somewhere else, right? So that means that women have some type of value, whether it's nurturing, whether it's a safe space, some type of comfort. Women provide that. There's nobody else on earth that could provide that kind of comfort of a woman. You can't get that from your boys.
You said absence of sex?
In some relationships. In some relationships. A few
Comfort is
episodes ago, y'all were talking about not having sex for years at a time. So, I mean,
well, that's because that 3-week limit that you put on it was a little bit it was different.
you gotta be ill. You have to be like, something gotta be wrong with you. I mean, if there's riders to that, but for the most part, two healthy people are not going to go long periods of time without being intimate in some form.
Okay. So, Sean, do you see men staying with a woman because she provides comfort monogamously?
No. Not now, not today. Because if a woman is staying with you and you're not actively involved sexually, and if she's there for comfort, you know, you're gonna want somebody around who provides a little bit more than that. You're gonna want sex. If you're a man, you coming home, you want sex from whoever woman is at home with you. So if she's not doing that, or if y'all not involved like that, you're not coming home to that. Not now, not today. Maybe in the past it's been that way.
Right. In the traditional settings, I think that it was more where it was something that was happening more.
But today, if 90% of relationships they're not having sex, are men staying? Like what? So is there some truth to it? Like, will he stay because men just don't divorce, but will he be stepping outside of it?
Yeah, they're gonna have sex somewhere else, but that doesn't mean that particular. The question was, do women have value outside of sex? And the answer is yes.
In relationships.
In relationships. So you mean outside of sex? So after y'all done doing what you're doing, your woman has no other value, no other contribution?
Well, no, it's Richard Cooper said this.
And I'm using it as an example. So if that's what I'm saying, like if you're in a relationship, you have to think like, does your woman have no other value outside of having sex with them? And the answer is just no.
Yeah, I'd push
You
back
said
on the
that women
90
don't
on the
provide.
90%. I'd push back on the 90%. That's extreme. I think that's extreme. But do I agree that if you remove sex, that a lot of qualities that women think they have aren't valuable? Yes.
Expound.
I mean, not to jump on B's bandwagon, but if you ask the question, what do you offer? What do you bring to the table? I know that's like a hot question, it's buzzwords and all that. But if you ask that question and wait for a genuine response, is it something that you're hearing that you can't provide for yourself non-sexually? Usually not. And that's the typical answer. So I again, 90% sounds high, but that sounds extreme. But do I think that that's applicable? Yeah, I do.
So you're saying that, Isha, what do you think? So some of the values that women think they have are a little bit overrated. What do you think?
First of all, I want to shout out my stepdaddy, James Stacy Parker, and we loved him. Okay, stepdaddies do rule, but he was off the wall with that one. But as far as I've seen men level up because of the woman that they've been with, so I know women offer more than just sex, like completely level up because of their woman.
Is that the 10% though?
I think it's more than 10%. Like Slim said, is that the caliber of woman that you're looking at? Maybe the women that you see on Instagram, Facebook showing their ass are the women that you're attracted to. And that's why you see these group of women that are only good for sex. They're only good for showing their ass. I'm college educated, and every workplace that I've worked in, every woman that I've worked with, they bring more than sex to the table.
So what you saying is B's algorithm in his Instagram that's bringing up all these big booty stitches?
It's definitely the algorithm.
Absolutely. That's what he's attracted to.
B, what's up? What you looking at on your off time, man?
Listen, all I can just say is the type of women that I encounter. It's like I try to take these women out on a date. I try to get to know them, but it's like through the course of the conversation, it's like 5 minutes in, it's like, I'm just wasting my money. I'm wasting my time. What do you bring to the table? I'm a loving mother. How the fuck that gonna help me? I got a mother. She's 82. She lives in South Carolina. I don't need 2 goddamn loving mothers. Fuck. What that got to do with my black ass?
But if a man's job is to provide, why are you asking her what does she bring to the table?
So why not ask that question? Why not? Yeah. You have to bring something into my life if I'm going to be spending my energy, my time, my resources on to you. You have to bring something to the table.
So it sounds you dating women that like they look like they sell weed and do hair out the same house and babysit kids all day. Like there has to be an image associated with this type of women. Because how do you miss like the way that you describe them? How do you miss that?
No, some of these people can put it off pretty good until you really get to know them. So remember last episode we were talking about faking the interview? Some of these people can fake it. Oh, trust and believe. Some of them can fake it.
So can I ask a question? Can ladies paint a picture for me what women bring to the table? And I'm not being funny. Just can you paint a picture to me of what women bring to the table non-sexually in a relationship?
I think women think differently than men. So a lot of times, an example, when moving, I've moved when I was married, like moving, and I watched my husband and his friends my ex-husband's friends kind of struggle with bringing a piece of furniture upstairs. Because my mind works differently, I explain to them, turn it this way, and they make it. I think you can present an idea to a woman. I'm just saying a good woman can take an idea and make it work in a different way than a man can.
But why use moving though?
It was just
99% of movers are men,
and they be fucking up furniture too, and fucking up the doors.
Put him in the fucking bedroom. Get him out of here.
So Isha, you're saying that a different perspective of thought,
different perspective,
is something that a man can't do.
Definitely. I've also had a friend.
A man can't have a different perspective of thought.
I'm just saying that women offer different perspective. And I've have a friend who recently got married. Her husband was straight in the street, right? His first wife she didn't care. She would mortgage her house for him. But my friend said, to come to me, you got to get a legit job. This man went to school, got a legit job. So it's the caliber of woman that you're dealing with. A good woman is going to steer you down the right road, the right path, and change and possibly change your life. And that is outside of sex.
Yeah.
So what if you're on the right path? What if you're going down the right road?
She's going to add to it. Whatever you have, she's going to add to it.
But that's so. If my trajectory is right, you saying that she'll help me get there faster?
Or faster, probably easier. She's whatever you have, she's going to add to it.
I don't
I
know if
think
that.
women also provide a space of calmness too. You've seen so have you ever seen somebody get into a fight and the woman be over there grabbing his face like, look at me, calm down, look at me in my face. Whole shit stops.
That doesn't work.
In some cases.
It doesn't work.
In some cases,
But I don't want to.
they can bring men back to reality, or they provide a space of comfort. And
So-
if you think that you could, so if you think you could so are you telling me that men could comfort themselves? They can do for themselves. They could go to their man and be like, yeah, they could receive that same level of comfort from their friend than they can from a woman.
Okay, so comfort. Sean, what was your question again?
I just asked the ladies to paint a picture for me of what non-sexual values women offer and bring to the table. So we got Isha with a perspective of thought, and Slim with comfort, and Q, you got something?
So you guys hear people say like this person is the better half of me.
Mm-hmm.
I think that that's probably the major thing that women with value offer is that mirrored reflection that you need to see the other part of yourself. I think that in the right relationship, that partner, that person is going to expose things about you that you never would realize otherwise. And that's what sharpens you and makes you a better person.
This is why I appreciate our panel, Ham, because I've heard that question asked amongst 30 different platforms and nobody gave real answers. I appreciate everybody's answer because that's something that's believable and not just, well, you can't do it without us. They actually gave some thought behind that. I appreciate that.
I can see, yeah. I mean, I can see the comfort. I can see the reflection piece if she's on the same page as you, right? Like if your woman is not on your program, what you're gonna get out that mirror is not what you think is going to be. Well, the reflection, right? So if it was reflecting, just based on what Q said, if we're not on the same page, what I'm going to get back from her may be not what I need. It may not we have to be on the same page, but more importantly, she has to be on my page if I'm going to get everything that Isha said from her, right? She's not going to be able to be on her own page if she's going to help me and make me better. What you think?
Those are perfect scenarios though too, right? I mean, perspective, comfort, and reflection. Those are perfect scenarios. That means that woman is leading with grace and patience to where she can offer those things without having to be combative about it. So I don't know what the percentage would be of that. I can't qualify that, but
10%.
Those sound like the ideal situation.
It's 10%. Come on, man. We've been outside. It's 10%. Women be loudmouthed and stubborn. All these overbearing opinions. They talk to men any kind of way. Like that's 10% of women stay within the femininity that was just discussed in terms of the traits. It's probably 10% is probably a real number.
I disagree.
I think the person that you find has to be able to provide that same level of comfort to you to where you don't feel like you have to be loud and you feel like you're not always on defense. And I think that's what we're seeing happen a lot of times with the women that are loud, that overtalk, that argue, because they're constantly in fight mode, and they feel like they have to fight their spouse instead of
Did you
be
just
on the
blame
same
the
page.
men?
You guys blame the women all the time.
Hold on. Oh, that's not the same question. Ish. Poop. Change your name to Poop. That slim shit don't work.
Come
Poop.
on, I'm a
Did you
grown
just
up.
blame the men? You're not grown.
No. No. How did I blame the men? I said that you have to be equally yoked. You have to have a partner that's going to be able to provide the same level of comfort.
All right,
That's not blaming
clean
anyone. The
that
same
shit
way
up.
that the woman that you have has to match you. Now, if you have a woman that's loud and you also are hot headed, that's not going to work for you.
Okay.
That's not going to work for you. And that's the same for women. So women that are loudmouth, like you were describing, that are talk to men any kind of way, they're going to need a man that's going to be able to bring them to a place to where they need their of understanding. Some women may not change.
All right, so stop right there. All right, man, I got this one. Slim, there is no reasoning with them type of women. They call them hood rats. Ain't no reasoning with them type of women.
Again, B, that's your caliber of women. So what that means to you is
Hold on, wait now. First of all, now we got to start with this caliber of women because I've also talked to teachers, biology, doctors. So y'all want to start putting me in this low category with these hood ratish women.
Hold on. So hood rat doesn't mean so there's hood rats with degrees. We know that.
If she everything you just named, she loud mouth, always wanting to fight her spouse, and all these other 10 different things you named, she a hood rat.
She can still be educated.
She can be a hood rat doctor. That happens.
Yeah, she would just be a rat.
She
wouldn't be a hood rat. She'd just be a rat.
Yeah. So I mean, depending on upbringing and all of that, but there you have to be equally yoked with whoever you partner with, else it's just not going to work.
What do you mean by equally yoked?
Means that you have to be on the same page. You have to have the same direction.
Is yin and yang equal?
Even if your ideas might be different, ideally you kind of in some way want the same thing.
So like let's say I don't eat pork. Can my wife eat pork?
Yeah. That's not I don't think that that's something that's off. I mean, she's gonna have to cook 2 different meals, or you'll have to cook something separate. But
see, then how are you equally? I don't know. I just feel like
I don't think things like politics, religion. I don't think those things you could really do separately. Yeah. Whether or not you eat pork or not, I mean, it's on you.
Well, people eat pork for don't do or do not eat pork for religion.
But that's religion based. That's not dietary, so that's different. That would fall under the religion category.
Oh, you saying if I was allergic to pork or something?
Yeah, like if you just don't eat it, like it just doesn't do well with your stomach. If you're lactose intolerant and I'm not, that ain't got nothing to do with me.
So what's not negotiable and equally yoked? You said religion, politics.
Like if the upbringing is completely opposite of what my values are, family wise, it's a no-go.
So go ahead, Sean.
Family values. So if you grew up in a household where holidays didn't matter to you, where family time doesn't matter to you, that's not going to work for me. And me trying to force something that, if it's something that I know is important to me, I shouldn't be with that person.
But let's list it out. Go ahead, Sean. Before we list it out, I was
going to say foundational things. Foundational things. I mean, things that you can't budge on. Religion, family structure, belief. I mean, work, things that you can't budge on. If I think that my woman need to be working as much as I'm working or contributing as much, then that's something I can't shake. Then I'm not saying that's the case. I'm just saying if that's something I foundationally believe in me and what my partnership should represent, then that's different. Then I can't budge on that. So it's foundational things. Whatever makes up the core of you or your person, then that's significant that you can't move on.
Yeah, I think the 10% might be accurate though. I think 10% of women really offer these things. Now, there's 20 million so-called black women in the United States of America. So what's 10% of that?
2 million.
So that's enough. I don't know. That's not enough.
It's still a lot of women. It's still a lot of people.
Kinda.
And they're the exceptional ones. You'd be hard pressed to find a woman who has all of that and is single, right?
Well, you know what's so crazy? The numbers probably back that up because 1 in 4 black women are not married. So we only missing 15%, right? Right? Based on the math. Shit, B, you on the sun, B. All right, let's go around one time. B, what's the number on it? Is it 90% of women don't have anything to offer if sex wasn't on the table? What's the percentage?
I still stick to 75%.
75%.
75.
Poop, what you think?
Maybe 40.
40% have something or only have sex?
No, 40%. Yeah, 40% is only has sex to offer. So 60%.
Have more than sex to offer.
Yes.
40 still kind of high. Okay. All right. Isha.
I'm gonna say 25%.
That do sound.
You start laughing. You know that shit ain't true. You thinking I can see you thinking about all your friends in your head. Like, yeah, she
I'm
ain't
just
shit.
optimistic.
How about being realistic?
I don't think it's okay. I'll give you 35%.
Okay.
Because I don't know a lot of women that just have vagina to offer. I'm sorry.
You like the
Oh, you do?
person. Yeah, facts. You like the person on Price Right who bet $1. Q, what you think? What's the percentage of women that only have sex to offer?
I still say 40.
40? Damn, that's
Yep.
interesting, man. Those are some decently high numbers. So I think to Sean's point, when you guys gave the qualities of women, what women have to offer, I think that was very substantive and realistic. And I think that you guys also gave percentages that are substantive and realistic, right? Because I wouldn't expect women to be like, yeah, you're right. 70% of these hoes don't got nothing to offer. But 40%, y'all probably want to say 70. If y'all got drunk, y'all probably say 70. So I respect it. So that's dope.
Let me
Man.
got her wine.
Oh yeah, she don't got her wine today. She got an early morning, I think.
No, I'm not drinking. I'm starting to look like I'm built like somebody's grandfather. I gotta get my life in.
Bruh.
Please don't. Right. All right, man. That's awesome, man. I think we may have to revisit some of Richard Cooper's statements. He got some crazy shit he put out there. That book, I just like started listening to it. I think you guys should listen to it. It said all men should listen to it, but I think it's just interesting from that perspective because so many men agree, but they scared to say these things out loud. You know, so I think I would definitely say to give it a whirl. All right, next topic.
So we just gonna skip right over to men.
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Okay.
For right now, because I want to get to one I think you liked. So there's some silver lining there.
Mm.
All right. So next topic. Too many men are used to seeing their mom do it all and think their woman should do it too. Too many men are used to seeing their mom do it all and think their women should do it too. So, son husbands, right? They're created by their moms. Too many men are used to seeing their mom do it all and think their women should do it too. Isha?
I agree. I hear a lot of no, because you hear a lot of men say, I want a woman like my mom, right? My mom was strong. She went to work, she paid all the bills, she came home and cooked, and we never went without. And she was this type of woman. So I think the standard is their mom a lot of the time. So I agree. They think that that's what women are supposed to do.
Okay. So when you see it all, you're saying that single mom who was working paying the bills, cooking, cleaning,
Mm-hmm.
and so now they expect more of the same from their spouse.
Right.
Okay. Okay. Sean, what you think?
I gotta agree somewhat. um, I'm not. I was raised by my mother and my grandmother. Um, I can't say that I wanted my. I got married young, real young, so I can't say my getting into the marriage. I thought I was going to have somebody like my mother. I actually wanted the opposite, personally. So I can't say I agree wholeheartedly, but I do think that we get spoiled to see what women are capable of, raised by a single woman. So we kind of tend to push towards that and lean on that and say, we think our women come up a little short. It's like, what you mean you can't do this, do this, do this? And we saw moms do that. So, there is some truth to it, but I don't think it's a generalization that most men think like that.
Do we want do men, right, who are there for their children and taking care of the household, do we want feminine women in all the stereotypical ways that we deem feminine also?
Not 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 wholeheartedly, no.
We
Because
don't
we
want.
don't want our women to be sensitive. Because
Hmm?
we have a problem, it's like, why are you tripping off of that? That's small, that's little. Like, get over that, move past that. We think like it's no big deal, but in reality, we want somebody tough in that regard. And that's not that's not reality with a lot of women. A lot of women do have more feelings, more emotions, more sensitivity tied into things that we don't. But we want the superwoman who could be tough and not sensitive when it comes to silly shit. But in reality, it's not the case. So we do kind of look for them to have a little bit more of a rougher exterior. So we don't always want the femininity in reality. We can say it, yeah, we want our women to be feminine, but when it comes down to it, when she's sensitive about something and acting feminine or like a woman, like, man, what's wrong with this? Come on, like, you try and get over this shit real quick.
Hmm.
Well, that's just thinking with logic. I don't think that has anything to do with femininity, right? Like, so there's some cases where you just need to use logic instead of emotion.
Do we want women to be submissive? Yeah, poop. I think I might agree with that. Do we want them to be submissive? Because if so, our moms probably, the moms that did it all, were they ever able to live in their femininity? Would they are they not submissive by nature of having to do all those things? Um, so are we like living like kind of contrary, like we saying one thing, but then we expecting these things, but then we want to like have our cake and eat it too, right? Because do we want submissive women?
We didn't
Everybody
see
doesn't.
if you were raised by a single woman, you didn't see your mom have time to be sensitive or feminine or any of these things. She had to be on it. She had to get up, go to work, take care of the bills, take care of the kids, get everybody teeth brushed, hair combed, or out the house, out the door. We have time to see her vulnerable.
Doesn't
But
mean she didn't have those vulnerable moments because you
oh no,
didn't see.
I agree
Mm.
with that. I agree.
I
We
But it
just
think,
wasn't on display.
yeah,
yeah,
I
they didn't
think
have.
meek, maybe meekness is a better word than sensitive or not submissive because a woman can still be submissive and still be strong. I think being submissive is a strength.
Right.
I didn't say sensitivity as a weakness though. I don't believe that to be a weakness. I think that's just a difference. There's a reaction of feelings differently towards a certain situation or a subject that men don't have and women do. But if you only see your moms growing up, you don't know that that's built into women. So you grow up thinking like, I didn't see my mom react that way. So why are you acting like this? You should be better than my mom did this with 4 kids, right? And you tripping off the gum on the bottom of the shoe, whatever it
Hmm.
is. But we don't see that in our moms. So I don't say sensitivity as a weakness. It's just what it is. I mean, men are sensitive too, so it's not a blanket statement across the board just for women. But we don't see that in our moms. So when we see it in our women, like, what's wrong with you? Like I seen moms do this, 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 and this. You acting like this over something small. So it's the difference. And I don't think it's a weakness though.
Okay. So, Poop, what's your thoughts on the statement? Too many men are used to seeing their mom do it all, and think when their women should do it too. What's your
Um,
thought?
I think that is true, and it's not just to men that were raised by single moms. It could have been a two-parent household as well, where maybe the father worked a bunch of hours and the mother still, was the primary go-to person in the house. She really didn't have time to let her hair down. She was the chef, the chauffeur. She cleaned. The father came home. All he had to do was sit on the couch and didn't even take, maybe didn't take his shoes off. Maybe she took his shoes off and fed him dinner. So the mother was always on, never really had a space to be soft. Or so even in those scenarios, it doesn't necessarily just have to be men that were raised by single moms, but it does spill over, when they enter relationships, because they have such high expectations of what their wife is supposed to do, or their spouse. They don't know how to be a partner. They don't know how to contribute, to a partnership, because
Well,
they
you
haven't seen.
said though, all the father has to do is just. So it's kind of like a little bit condescending. So I just want to make sure I'm hearing it right. It's like all and just. But before that, you said he works a bunch of hours. So is you saying
So
when he
those are
gets
all.
home he has
It
to
was
do
like
more too?
multiple. It was multiple scenarios. So he could work just his 40 hours.
Well,
It
let's
could be,
focus on the one where you said all. So he works all these hours, and he comes home, takes his shoes off, sit on the couch. You
so
saying
what
that that's not a thing?
if the wife also works all these hours as well?
What's your nickname, Sean? What's her nickname?
Caviar Slim.
Right, but what you're doing
All right,
is I
set the
gave it.
scenario. All right, all right. My bad, Poop.
So
Set
you're
the
changing.
scenario so we on the same page.
So you're changing what I'm saying. I gave four
Okay,
different. So I'm saying there could be a
four
scenario where
four of the things. All right, give me one. Give me
you want
one. Give
to
me one.
answer or no.
Give me one. Give me
All
one
right.
scenario.
So if give using the example that you want me to talk about, where the father's working a ton of hours, that would be where they're both equally working, right? So not where a woman is staying home, the mother also is working. We're both
Okay.
working hard, and the father is not contributing the same way that the wife is in the household.
Okay.
So in that situation, the mother doesn't have the same space that the father has to be able to relax, to have a space of peace.
Okay.
To decompress.
Yeah. Okay. All right, because I didn't want, and really, I was doing that to clarify, right? Because I wasn't sure what the scenario was. So you would agree then, if the scenario was where the mom was not working and the father came home and put his feet up, would that be justifiable?
He does need time to relax, sure,
Okay.
sure.
Okay.
Um, but it also, I mean, to the question is, when men enter, if that's their view of how women, what they expect of women, just to not have time to their self, they don't have space. They're supposed to always be on, and constantly in a level of servitude. When they expect that from their woman, I just don't think that it's a realistic expectation of what a partnership should be.
Okay. B, what you think?
Well, um, well, all I can say is, growing up with a single mother, I saw my mother be strong. So obviously, I would like a strong lady. I wouldn't say I would want a woman like my mother. I wouldn't go as far as say that for me personally, but I would say there's certain characteristics I would look for. But I wouldn't say I would want a woman exactly like my mother. No, that I wouldn't say that I would want.
Yeah.
I guess it would all boil down to, I guess, goes back to what Slim said. I guess it would just be the environment, because again, we just can't say it was if that person grew up in a single mother home. What if he grew up in a mother and father two parent home? I guess it just all depend on the person.
Or the dynamic in that house, right?
Right? Exactly. Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Okay, I think that's fair. Because I think to Poopy's hypothetical, where they're both working, but then the dad gets to chill and the mom has to keep grinding when she's at home, then I think if a man grew up in that construct, I think the statement that we're assessing applies more.
So in
You
that
know,
case, he would be looking for a traditional housewife then.
no, because in Poopy's hypothetical,
Oh,
the
she
mom
did.
was also
Yes.
working.
That
Right.
would be
Okay.
me, by the way.
Yeah, Slim. Yeah, we got to. I'm gonna change that shit. Q, what you think? Uh, Too many men are used to seeing their mom do it all and think their woman should do it too. What you feel?
Um, yeah, I feel like it has a lot to do with how you're raised. You
Mm-hmm.
know, if you were raised, I think, to be coddled by your mom, whether she's a single mother or not, and she's not raising you to, um, view relationship with a woman any different than that. Like, yeah, the way that I make your lunches for you, or the way that I fold your clothes and make sure that your bed is made every day, the way that I do all these things, this is not what you should expect when you get on your own and get with a woman. Then I think that really makes the difference. I think that those men who have that experience, which I think there's a large number of men who do have that experience, they then grow up to be what is deemed a mama's boy, and they do expect that from their women.
Hmm. So, if I expect my wife to cook, and that is like a trait, like when Sean asked the question, that goes far with a lot of men, would that kind of lend to this example? You think?
No, because you're not expecting her to do it all. This is like those men who see their mom do everything. And
Okay.
so then they get in a relationship and they feel all they have to bring to the table is maybe some money towards bills or some shit like that. But what you're talking about is something completely different.
Okay. Is it okay to expect more if you pay more?
You're not paying for it. So are you paying for a service? Like
That
what's
sounds like
Well,
some whole shit.
are you
so
paying for a service? Like if I pay a little bit more, I get extra services or like
so let's say she works, right? Poop to your hypothetical, but I'm paying 85% of the bills. What does that look like? Can I expect more?
expect more in what way? Are you working the same amount?
But if I'm paying everything, then her money is like play money.
So what does that mean? It
Well, that's
depends
what
on
I'm
what
asking.
it depends on what you set in your household. Like so if you're saying like, all right, I'm gonna pay everything, but that means that you have to do I need more work out of you. That's ultimately what you're saying. If I pay more, I need more work out of you.
Okay, let me ask a better question. If the man was paying 90%, 100% of the bills and you're working, would you do more by nature of that? East, I like how you made that face. You answer and then Poop,
But
you
I'm
can
still
answer.
working.
Yeah, Poop. Hold on.
I
Because
don't
East made a
understand the
face.
question.
I
I
think
just think
Issa understood. I'm gonna ask it again
I
though.
just think that he can have the audacity to ask for me to do more, but doesn't mean that I will, feel like I have to do more.
Okay, because you expect him to pay for shit.
No, but no, I don't expect him. I mean, I would feel like, okay, well, you're paying all the bills. You can ask, and I might do it, but I don't feel like it's
An
required.
obligation.
Yeah.
So you
Okay.
think you don't think providing more
Poop, you up next.
you don't think providing more offers more reward?
Like I said, he can have the audacity to ask.
But you're just saying he can ask though. He
Wow.
can't implement. He can ask.
No, he can ask, but it's not a requirement. If we didn't come into it like, okay, I'm going to work and pay all the bills, and you're
No,
going to
no,
do
no.
more.
No
Mm,
agreement on the table. He's
yeah.
taking care of you and your kids. He's taking care of everybody. 90%. So he can't expect more reward. That you take more of the household responsibilities. He can't expect that.
He can ask.
Oh
Oh,
no.
somebody mute her mic. So, so Poop. The question is, you're still working, right? But the man you're with is paying 90% of the household bills and yada yada yada. Would you like? How would that? Would you do? Would you do more? Should he expect more? Are both of those things okay?
What more? So when you're saying more, in what capacity? Because if
Cook,
I'm already
cook,
like,
clean,
I don't
watch the kids.
understand what else more that I could be doing that I'm not already contributing. If I'm working and I'm already cooking and I'm already taking care of the house, what more would you want?
Well, I guess so. Let me clarify. So, the men that think they see the women do it all, would you feel more of an obligation to do it all?
No, I don't feel an obligation to anything. Now, would I
Huh?
do it because I see maybe you're tired and I just want to do it because that might be the way that I want to express my gratitude? Sure. But
You don't.
as an expectation, because you've paid more, where I feel like now I owe, I wouldn't want to be in that kind of scenario if that's the view of my spouse.
Okay. Question then. Uh, what if he said, "I'm paying 95%, but you don't feel obligated, so I'm gonna pay 65%." You'd be cool with that too.
If he decided to pay less because I wasn't doing enough,
Yeah. So he's like, you know what, babe? I get it. You're not obligated. I had the audacity to ask you. So you know what?
but
I'm gonna drop the 60-40
but when you're
and we
saying
should be rocking.
But what you're saying is, if I'm saying I'm already, so when you're saying do more, you're not giving me an answer of do more. I'm already cooking, because these are the examples that you gave. Cooking a meal, that's something that I do anyway. I cook every day. So that's already done. You guys already know how I feel about sex. So that's already being taken care of. My house is going to be clean. So what else do you want from me?
Okay,
What
so
is
you
the
take
more?
so that's the perspective. Okay, if
So
that's
I'm
a
asking, what is
perspective,
the more? You're saying
yeah.
you should do more. So what's the more?
Shit, I gotta think about it. God damn, you put me on the spot.
If I'm at 95%, I don't want to do nothing.
And it's
Yeah,
the 95% is
I
okay.
ain't clipping. I ain't clipping my toenails.
Yeah. Well, then see, no.
95%. I don't want to do nothing. I
It
want to
just
come
gives you
home.
the right to be a dictatorship. Back to that conversation.
I
That's
mean,
No,
if,
no,
Benevolent,
no, no, no.
benevolent.
That don't even mean I'm barking out orders. That means 95%. I don't want to have to deal with anything. I come
no.
home. I should be able to be comfortable. Not have no bad words. Have food. I can watch the game. I can chill. 95%. Oh no, that's no.
so you don't have to, you just don't have to do anything. So you're looking for more service. You're looking for somebody, you're looking to pay for a service then,
Yeah.
ultimately.
At some point it gets transactional. So
I
yeah.
would,
No,
yo,
not in my experience. No.
dead ass, bro. I would pay all the bills if I ain't have to watch my kids. Yo, oh, I want to pick them up. Oh, big baby, and put her back. That's it. You feel me?
Yeah, just
Like,
to play. Just to
yeah,
play.
just play. They start shitting and slobbing. Babe, take this.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's interesting though.
There's some
Q.
men that just
95%.
feel like that's their thing and that's what they want to do. Like they want to pay. And I think that it also depends on where financially you're at. Like I
Yeah,
had a
95%.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's gonna be a struggle for you to where you're gonna complain about it every 5 minutes, then you can't really do it. You know what I mean? Like if it's
Yeah,
you struggling, you can't really swing it like that, then don't put yourself in that situation. You got to work 1,000 hours overtime to make that happen, and don't do it.
that's fair. Q, what you
But I
think?
like
Final
what
thought.
Sean mentioned too. I think most relationships are transactional.
Hmm.
You
Yeah.
guys agree or disagree with that?
I agree. Don't mute
Okay.
yourself, Q. No, I agree. Keep going.
Yeah, no, I think that's a difficult thing to admit to, but I think, most relationships are transactional. You give something and get something in return.
Yeah.
I agree with that.
Absolutely. I mean, that's been around for a long time though. Like
Yeah.
as a man, you go cut the grass, you rake the leaves, so you don't hear no negative words, no bad words when you come in the house, no nagging or nothing like that. You go take care of extra responsibilities so you don't hear anything. That's a transaction.
Mhm.
That's a
Yeah.
transaction. That's been
Yeah.
around forever.
Yeah. The cooking, the sex,
Yeah.
sometimes.
And women
Yeah.
too. It's not just one sided. Women, They border the bad side of the argument sometimes just to let it go, just to win in the long term. That's transactions. I mean, it's
Yeah.
that's how healthy relationships works is transactions.
Yeah. Interesting, man. Look, like, share, subscribe, tell a friend and tell a friend. Once again, we got merch indeedtees.com/risky logo merch. We're on Spotify, Anchor, and Apple as well. We're streaming live on YouTube. If you're watching on Facebook, probably come to YouTube to get the best interaction. You can leave comments. We can read them. We can post them on the page. And all that good stuff. All right. So one more. Let me see this one. All right. Let me share my screen real quick. Might be kind of small, so I'll read it. When a wife is totally submissive, she controls the husband unknowingly. When a wife is totally submissive, she controls her husband unknowingly. True, false. True, false. When a wife is totally submissive, she controls the husband unknowingly. Poop, what you think?
I think 100% being submissive is one of the most powerful things you can do. Get a lot more done that way. I've been on both sides. I've been an argumentative person at one point in time, and it just didn't work out. It was just, you just exhaust so much energy. You usually don't get the result that you want. Not just in relationship, but even in the workplace. You know that keeping a level tone is going to get you more done than not. So I think that spills over into relationships. If you can be submissive, kind of know when to fold, you get more done that way. You definitely can control your relationship. You get a lot more accomplished.
Yeah. I think I agree. B, what you think? Submissive woman control her husband unknowingly?
Well, I would need more verbiage on it. I mean, not trying to be funny. I don't get the statement. I mean,
So
I
if your wife, so it says, what's that thing you get more with? Like, it's what some country shit, but you probably know it. You get more with sugar than you do with vinegar.
you get more flies with vinegar. So I know what you're saying.
You catch more flies with sugar than you do.
Yeah. I know.
Catch more bees.
Bees.
Everybody just yelling shit out. Y'all don't know what the cliche is, but
I've heard it before.
Yeah.
I mean,
so like if your wife was you get upset, you get angry, she stays calm, she stays submissive. When she needs something, she comes to you with suggestions, right? She's asking questions, right? Even the sex, right? Just in form of submission. When you want it, you can get it, right? Just trying to give you some context and perspective around a submissive woman, right? At least from my point of view. So if the woman was doing all of these things, would she have control on you, unknowingly or like in your subconscious?
How? I mean, how would she have control over me? How?
So she said she asking for stuff. Would you be more willing to give it?
I'm willing to give shit. That's all it's going to be at my expense if I give it. I don't give a damn how submissive you are. You could be the most submissive woman on the face of the earth, but you come to me and say, "Hey, Brian, I need a new car." You remember, go out there and buy it. That's going to come at my expense. Hell, you putting me in debt. I'm already cheap as it is. If you come to me telling me you want a new goddamn car, well, fuck, that's going to come at my expense. So, yeah,
Okay.
how are you controlling me? I'm a grown man. Can't nobody control me. I mean,
Got you.
how you control
Do
me?
you question B? Do you want a wife?
Yeah, hold on, wait, y'all laughing? Yes, I want a wife, but at the end of the day, so if my wife is submissive, but she says she comes home and they say, "Honey, I want a new car. I want a new car." Mm-hmm. So I'm supposed to sit back and say, "Yeah, baby, girl, we gonna go to the dealership tomorrow. Yeah, girl, we gonna go get that new car." No,
Well,
I got to sit back and factor in some things. just because you're submissive don't mean you're gonna get what you want out of me. Give a damn how
Yeah.
submissive you are.
But she already given in to everything you already want. She already agreeing that you are in control. She's already allowing you to be the man of the house and all of that.
But I'm supposed to be the man in the house anyway, when we look at it from the biblical perspective.
Okay.
So,
Okay.
all right.
Okay.
Second Timothy 2:12.
So she's following the biblical perspective, right? She's following that. She y'all equally yoked and all of that, right? So you saying when she say I want a new car, you like, no, I gotta think about some shit.
Absolutely. So what if I can't afford it? So I'm supposed to go out there. I'm already working.
No. You being able to afford it is a different question. I'm saying if all things considered, everything's in the green, y'all good to go.
No,
Would you be willing to get it?
No, hold on. I got to sit because so what I'm supposed to do? Be like, baby, I want the car. Yes, let's go to the dealership to get it tomorrow. No, I got to sit back and evaluate some things.
No. So B
take the car out of it.
Yeah, because his budget ain't
because he's fucking the car up. B also 2 Timothy 2:12 is women should be silent in the church.
Exactly. So
That's not the point that you was making. First Corinthians 11:3.
I hate I even said it because now you going. I didn't got.
Well, no, I just didn't want. I want the audience. We got people watching. I just want you to, make sure you give them the right verses. So B, fuck the car, please. Okay. She want a carrot. All right.
She can get the carrot. Yeah, she'll get that. Yeah, I'll get you a carrot.
But what if you got a purse? You don't have a car.
She want a new bag. She want a new bag.
That depends. Okay, that's got to come. That just depends.
A coach bag. God damn.
Well, it doesn't have to be something. It can be like a submissive woman is a woman that you're always going to want to protect. So
but that don't mean I got to buy you something just to show my.
That's why I said it doesn't have to be you providing in that way, but it says that she can control her man. So he's going to always want to protect her. He's always going to want to make sure that she is doing good, that all of her needs is met, because she's making sure that all of his needs is met.
But a purse is a want, that ain't a need.
That's why take out the buying stuff away. The question is a submissive woman getting what she needs from a man, controlling that man. She's going to be able to control him.
No, I can't see nobody controlling me. I just can't see.
And I really can't see you in a relationship, really.
Oh, well, there's someone out there for me. She's got to realize she just can't control me. I mean,
so B, Hamp explained the first part of being a woman being submissive, but the control part would be more subliminal than what is actual. Like she gets to say yes or no. Mm-hmm. Right? It's not like she has. Yeah, it's not like she has creative control over what you do with your day. That's not that type of control. But it's
so what y'all were saying is if a woman is more submissive, she's more inclined for a man to.
You would be more inclined, yes.
Yeah, you would be.
Would you? Well, would you be?
Okay, right? So if that's okay, all right. So if we went through 10 minutes of that to get to this, then yes. All right.
So B, let me ask.
In that case, yeah. If you're a good woman, you're a good traditional woman. Oh well, yeah. In that case, yeah. I mean,
you gonna do anything for her?
Nah.
But she would say, "Damn, I need some new running shoes."
Oh, running shoes, yeah.
But she giving you everything she want. Would you be inclined to get her some running shoes without her necessarily asking?
Yeah. If she likes to run and exercise and work out, and she wants running shoes, yeah.
You have to talk about stuff within his budget.
Yeah. Listen, now we talking. Y'all really want to talk about budget?
No, I'm just saying it has to be within your budget, within your means. You're going to give her what's.
Yeah, absolutely. But still, yeah. So she come home. I come home from work and I'm sweating. Now she be like, "Babe, I want a new car. I want a 2022 Mercedes MLK." Hold on now.
But I don't think a submissive woman would hit you like that anyway.
Well, I don't know, but hold on, slow down.
Well, because for her to be submissive, she has to be in tune. Mm-hmm. Right, so
because she would already know my budget.
She would know the budget. She would know what
to ask for.
It makes sense. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, okay. So
but she definitely wouldn't ask you. You coming straight. A submissive woman, you coming home straight from work. Maybe she'll have your water ran for the bath. You know what I'm saying? Okay. submissive, doing what she needs to do as a wife to make sure you're comfortable.
Yeah.
In return, you're going to make sure she's comfortable.
Oh, okay. So, and if that's the case, absolutely, yes. If that's the case, yes. Because when
Okay.
y'all say controlling, I'm thinking she controlling me, she ruling and dominating me. Ain't nobody ruling and dominating Brian Matthew Graham. I don't give a damn who you are.
Yeah. So it's not. Yeah, it's not control. Like she's.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
But that's what it's saying. It's saying unknowingly.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I
Right.
missed that part. Yeah.
Yeah. You missed that part.
But when you talk about that one day, that scripture, Timothy 2:12.
Mhm.
Yeah, I was reading that the other day. That's good because these new women need to know that. But that's a story for another day. I ain't gonna
Okay. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. No doubt. So, Q, what you think? When a wife is totally submissive, she controls her husband unknowingly.
I think Aisha said it best because before she said what she just said, I understood it as a form of manipulation.
Yes,
And I
yes.
think if you try to indirectly manipulate somebody, then it's never going to work out in your favor. Um, I don't think that that's true submission at that point. I think that that's kind of some type of manipulation in a negative way, or reverse psychology or some bullshit. But so yeah, I don't think that really you end up having any control if that's your intention. But the way that Aisha posed it, where she's like, you're going to submit and do all the things that your husband expects that are catering to him, that are helping him, then in turn, he's going to make sure that you're taken care of. If that's what that is, then I guess, yes, the woman is in control unknowingly. But yeah, my true honest opinion, no, I don't think that that is the case. I don't think that by her submitting that she's controlling him unknowingly, if it's in a manipulative way.
What if the question was, I don't know, and this might not work either, but if a woman like was always able to remain in her, her femininity, right? Where she wasn't loud and stubborn, obnoxious, aggressive, competitive per se, right? Like,
All
do
that
you
sounds
think?
feminine, though.
Say again.
I said all
Say
the
again.
things you just named sound feminine. All the things that you just named sound feminine.
Aggressive.
Like, yeah,
Aggression
everything
is
that you just named those sound like feminine traits.
so aggressive is feminine.
Well, it can be.
You saying if you get mad over stuff?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm saying
That's
aggressive
like the
though.
emotional part of you, which is linked to femininity.
But aggression could just be like when you play football, it's an aggressive sport, but you're not necessarily like angry. You just got that in you. Stubbornness, like most successful men are disagreeable.
Mm-hmm.
So like, yes, I think I understand what you're saying. Like when you're emotional and these things overcome you,
Mm-hmm.
that can be considered like people say like, oh, you got female traits, right? You know, the cliche. But just taking those things for what they are, right? I don't see, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong, feminine as those things. So if a woman remained in those things or without those things, I feel like she can have, without the connotation being negative, a particular type of manipulation over a man.
Okay.
But would you call it manipulation? Because a woman with those things would not try to manipulate a man. Like I've heard my cousin say that this new girl that he's talking to, he's like, she's just so soft spoken. She's just so soft that all he wants to do is take care of her and provide for her and protect her. And I don't think that was her intentions of getting him to do that. That's just because of her characteristics. He wants to do those things.
So is the wrong word to use manipulation because the manipulation is control with intent, right? I guess.
Yes.
Okay. But no,
Right.
it's
So
just that
that's probably
it's
where I'm getting caught up on it is the word control. So again, Aisha puts it so eloquently that it makes sense when she says it, but the word control is throwing me off because that's the part that comes across as manipulative.
well, she
Yeah,
would be able to get that man to do what she wants based
yeah,
on remaining as such. Go ahead, Sean.
to Isha's point, her femininity or submissiveness is a byproduct of him going the extra mile to take care of her, right?
Mhm. Well,
I mean,
that's
that's
just her characteristics, and he wants to take care of her because of her characteristics.
yeah, that's what I mean. Like that's a byproduct of that. So to the point of the topic of the question, that's the same thing, right? Like if your woman is submissive, then you would want and you would inherently want to do more for her to protect, to provide, to offer, to do whatever, right? I mean, that's the natural course of things.
Mhm.
I would assume to be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So then if
And
you want to do it though, is that a form of control?
If who wants to do it?
Like if you want to do it, you have a natural inclination to do it, then is that indirect control? Is that unknowing? Is that control unknowingly?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think so.
Yes.
I
If
think
I feel like I have to provide more, do more for my wife to be more submissive or for her to be more receptive in order for her to feel happy, to feel comfortable, to feel like she has more control over the household, if that's a win, then that's something I'm willing to do. I think that's a natural course of things as well. And that's transactional, cute, right? To that point, it's like, oh no, I'm doing this so you can be this. And a woman's stance may be, I'm accepting submissiveness so I can control this, so I can do that. I think that's both things are accurate. Both things are both true.
But I don't think submissiveness is something that you have to accept. It might just be either your natural being or a place of comfort. Like you just feel safe enough to be able to.
Oh no, oh no, 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 no. Some women have to accept being submissive because it's not natural to them.
Then, then
Mm.
that's not a true sub.
That's not what.
That's not a true sub. Then
I mean, well, it doesn't have to be true. It just has to be right. It just
That's
has
the
to
feel.
fit. The formula has to work. If you put the right variables into the correct formula, you get the positive result.
so you're
So I
saying
think
someone that isn't naturally submissive, just doing it for this, getting along just for the sake of it, is not really
is a
being submissive. Then
is a strength.
so there's people that are submissive, and then there's so what you're describing is someone that's just doing something to make sure that things stay at peace. So
Correct.
that's not really being submissive.
Uh, well,
Isn't it
perception.
though?
Yeah.
Isn't it though?
If it's perceived as being submissive, then that's what it is.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's a strength too. I don't think that's weak. Somebody
No,
changing.
being truly submissive is definitely a strength. But I think I don't know. I'm getting caught up with you saying that people are just doing it for the sake of making peace. Like I don't really feel this way. And so if somebody's not truly submissive, that means that they're struggling with the decision that they're making. They're staying silent even though they don't want to.
Or they're more comfortable with the bigger picture of success in the household. I mean,
Yeah.
it doesn't have to be I'm losing myself by doing this.
Right. So but
It
what I'm
could
saying
just
is they
be
have to
for
be
the
at a place of comfort. Like you have to truly want to be in a submissive
no,
place.
no, 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 no. I think people strive when they're uncomfortable. I
I
think
think if
when
you're
people are uncomfortable,
but it sounds
Go
like
ahead.
if you're capitulating, then you're not at peace.
Right.
Well, do you think that it speaks to the sustainability of it? Like, can you fake it till you make it for a while? But is it you
No.
think poop? You think it's gonna come to a head eventually?
Yeah. Because if that's not how you truly feel, if you don't really feel comfortable, if you don't really feel like I can just truly just let myself go with this person, and you're just faking it and you're just doing it to get along, that's not going to last.
well, I don't know
Because
that
that's
to be
not
true.
who you truly are.
I don't know that to be true. That it won't
I do.
last. I,
But I think if you're just doing it to get along or doing it to get something that you need, I think that then it turns into manipulation.
Right. Yeah, that's not real.
I mean, what? But so you're saying that someone who isn't a submissive person, one, can't learn to be submissive if it isn't in them, or two, they can't adjust to being submissive for the benefit of their family structure.
I'm saying that they have to want to be submissive.
Yeah, so maybe I'm confused. Somebody's doing something submissive that they don't want to do, but they're doing it. Isn't a show of strength or character?
Yeah, I think it is.
In that
It's
scenario, that's a
not.
weak. In that scenario, it's a weakness. If you're doing it just for the sake of, if you're just being quiet for the sake of, I know this is just for the better of everybody else, but it doesn't truly make me happy, then that's not a strength.
So y'all are
However,
speaking
if
from
you're being submissive for the sake of, because I truly feel at peace and I really feel comfortable with the person that I'm with, and I want to give myself up freely or give up certain, not give myself up, but give certain things up freely, then that's a strength.
So I may be wrong, but I think y'all are speaking from a women's perspective because
That's the perspective I have.
a lot of men deal with things and do things in the household that they don't want to do, but for the benefit of the household. So are they doomed for failure because of that?
I think that that's simping though, right?
No,
No.
no, 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 no. I wouldn't say that that's simping. Like a lot of things men do in the household, they don't want to do, but
Right.
they do it for the benefit of the household. So you're saying that on the flip side, women who are being submissive, who don't want to be submissive, are weak or are doomed to failure if they're doing it for that reason?
So what is
It's not
something
the
that
same as cooking a meal and you don't want to cook, or taking out the trash because you really don't want to do it, or going to
No, no,
work.
no. We're talking
Being
strictly in
submissive
terms of being
is
submissive and
internal.
doing things that you don't want to do.
Right. Submissive
So
isn't one of those things that you could categorize with going to work or cutting the lawn.
no, no, no. But shutting your mouth when your woman is talking too much, or not running out the house when you have beef, like all those things that you're sacrificing and doing on a consistent basis are doomed for failure. That's not true. That's just not true.
but like so is submission, is it limited to more gender role activity? Because if it is, then you're not talking about the same thing. You're talking about two different things.
No, no, no. I'm strictly just talking about being submissive, and you're not a submissive person, that you're doomed for failure. Like I don't agree with that at all.
If it becomes an internal conflict, then yes. And that's with anything. That's with anything. If it's not natural for you to stay in it, the example that you gave of staying in a household when there's an argument or a beef just for the sake of it, if it's an internal, like if it's something where you're really struggling with that and that goes against how you feel, then yeah, you're going to be doomed for failure in that example as well.
But
If you're doing it out of love, if you're doing it because in that case, you'd also be submissive to your wife, right? Because you're saying, okay, well, I'm going to give up X, Y, and Z. So submission could go on both ways, male or female.
And
No,
that,
no,
that
no, 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 no,
I
no.
well, no,
because
no, no.
like in the
Ham,
internal scenario where he's
she got a point to that. She got a point to that aspect, Ham, because we give up. We practice monogamy
Uh-huh.
with our wives, so that is something that we give up.
Is
That's
that
something that we
that's
sacrifice.
submission,
It is.
or is it
That's submitting to the will of our wives, right?
or is it an
That's
accommodation?
no, it's submission. It's not an accommodation. An accommodation is a medal, nigga. We submit in that regard. That's submission. Is
Oh
that something
no,
that we
man.
inherently are built to do? That's a different conversation, I guess. But
Is that submission?
yeah, it is. It is.
You
You
do feel like you in a headlock sometimes. That's for damn sure.
of course, of course. But you do it for the greater good. What I'm hearing is that if you're not a submissive person by nature, if you're submitting for the greater good, then you're doomed for failure. And I don't agree with that at all.
No, I think that it has to be something that comes natural, meaning depending on the environment, may not be a submissive person. The person that I'm with may not just bring that out in me. I just may not feel comfortable to give up that free will. I need to be in control of the situation because I don't trust you to make the decision. I have to
So
make sure that I'm making the choice because I don't trust whoever I'm with to make that decision. So now I'm in control. I'm over talking and I need to take control of the relationship because I don't trust either your guidance or you to lead us into the right direction.
But that's somebody you aren't willing to sacrifice that for.
Right. So what I'm saying is that you have to be in a space of comfort. You have to be in a space to where somebody's able to let you submit. It's not it has to be something that comes natural, not by force.
Well,
So what you're saying is
that's
somebody
two
can
different
just do it
things.
as for force. Like I'm just forced to do it and I just want to do it for the sake of I know this man got a good job. He done took care of me and my kids. I might as well just be quiet, even though I don't feel comfortable in doing that and I don't believe that he's gonna lead me in the right
No,
direction.
no, no, no. No. That's you're saying force. Nobody's forced to do anything. I'm saying that somebody who isn't inherently submissive can't one learn to be, or if it isn't natural for them to be, they are doomed for failure. You're saying
Oh, it
they
can be
are.
learned. It definitely can be learned. It is a trait that can be learned.
I think the key is that they have to want to be submissive.
Right.
But if you're practicing submission, that's you wanting to be submissive. Nobody's
Or,
forced to be submissive.
or
I
if you're
think the
just trying to
original
get your
question
needs
was
met.
about control, right? So some people want to do it and because they're naturally doing it or they want to do it or whatever the reason is. But then when you're talking about control, getting something out of it is two different things. If you're doing it for the sake of to get something out of it, that's a lot different than naturally wanting to do it.
I think
I mean,
everybody's making really strong points and kind of saying the same thing, just different ways.
I personally think that women control a household, even if they are submissive to their husband.
They control the household because they're allowed to do so. I think that men sacrifice. I don't know if we submit. We sacrifice certain things. I don't know if submission and sacrifice are the same thing.
Hmm.
You know, because submission has a hierarchy feel to it. Sacrifice, people in control can sacrifice for the greater good, but
So
submission there is an order to it.
they aren't one and the same.
No, because
Sacrifice and
submit
submission.
is subordinates at a point too.
I think it can get to that. Yeah, I think it can get
But
to
I
that.
think it's
But
it's still sacrifice because I'm submitting, I'm sacrificing my will and my power so that you
No,
can lead.
no,
my
because you are.
ability, my ability.
Yeah.
that's
Also, I
that's
think
that's
that
what
women.
sacrifice is, right?
My bad.
I'm saying
Well,
that's what sacrifice is, right? Like you're sacrificing your ability to do something that you know you can either do just as
ex,
good
ex,
equally.
exactly, and
Yeah.
that's not the case.
But it's still sacrifice, and that's what makes it a
No,
strength.
no, because what Sean said was you have the ability to do it. I think women think they can do these things, but they really can't do these things like they think they can.
But that's not what Sean said. He said you're sacrificing
Well,
your
sacrifice.
ability
What is
when you can
sacrifice?
probably do it better sometimes, but
No,
you're sacrificing to let this man do it.
exactly. You're not sacrificing because you're not actually capable like you think you are.
But that's not what Sean said.
No, he's saying sacrifices you can do it, but you're sacrificing it for the greater good. You can do it though, that part, right? Can women actually do these things
Can women lead a household?
of men with men in it?
Yeah.
Yeah, can they actually do these things?
That'd be a tough task. So if that's the separation between the two, then that's difficult. But that's a fine line. There may be a lot of gray area in between sacrifice and submission. Um, that may be take a more nuanced conversation for that. But that's
It's hard to justify nuances.
I think
yeah.
that's what makes submission such a strength is the ability to sacrifice.
I agree with that. I agree with that, Ish. For real. I'm gonna give
Maybe
you
I
high
don't
five on
know.
that.
I don't know. I just don't know if submission requires a bunch of sacrifice if people weren't playing their roles. If people are
You know,
playing their roles, you're not sacrificing as much as you think. But people trying to think they can do a bunch of shit they can't or they shouldn't be doing, and then what? Now they
so
think they sacrificing.
so you think ability is tied into submission or
I think
sacrifice?
ability is tied into sacrifice.
Sacrifice, not submission.
No, I think submission is role. Like you have a particular role and responsibility, and there's an authority
I
that you
think the
should
issue
respect.
is with him is women are supposed to submit and men aren't, and that's how he's seeing it.
Well, that's the truth too.
Well, that's where the issue is coming in. That's why
Oh,
you can't see it as being a sacrifice because you feel like women, that's your role. You're supposed to submit, but it
mhm.
takes a lot of strength too.
Why though? Why are you guys wrestling with so much shit that you need so much strength to submit?
I don't think it's wrestling. So if you take a woman who's been single and doing a lot of things on her own and putting her in a situation, well, now she has to let do it, and she's probably knows a little bit more than he does. Her ability might be greater than his, but she's deciding I'm going to take the back seat and let him lead because in the role he's a man and he's supposed to. Now that takes a lot of strength.
Eesh.
No,
But
we're not letting people that can't lead. No, we're not doing that.
Well, no, I
but
don't think it's a choice of what someone's capable of. I think to the point we talked about earlier with seeing single moms do a lot ties directly into sacrifice versus submission. Like why would we expect submission? It's difficult for women to expect to be a submissive person when they have seen examples where they've had to do everything. So I
but
think it's a difficult transition, right?
yeah.
But I don't know that I think they do think it as sacrifice because
Well,
they've seen what women are capable of in single family homes.
yeah. And they're because they're natural use, right? So they're in an unnatural state. So now they think that, oh, well, now I've done this for so long doesn't mean it was right.
Correct.
Right? You should have been protected. You should have been able to stay in your femininity. That's what I think that's the word I like to use. You
Mhm.
should have been able to stay there, but because you're between a rock and a hard place, you had to come out of that and then go into your masculinity, right? And I'm just saying that if a woman was allowed to be a woman and not have to do all those things, she wouldn't see it as such a sacrifice because she would have always been able to stay in her natural use.
Okay.
I can agree. Just personally, I think because I'm used to doing everything for my son and surviving, I think letting somebody else lead me would make me really anxious.
Yeah.
It'd be difficult, right?
Until you find the right
And the
person.
strength comes in. But that's when the strength comes in because now I have to trust somebody else. Because I mean, if you always on go and you always making a move, now you got to sit back and let somebody else
Yeah.
set the tone.
So let me ask you this, Ish. If that's the case and you would be anxious, wouldn't that be a burden off your shoulders, a relief if someone were to provide that?
Yeah.
Not initially,
Well,
because
I'm not. No. Not initially. Yes or
No.
no? If someone were to provide that, that'd be a burden off your shoulders. Yeah.
but it still would make you anxious
Well,
because
no.
you so used to doing it. It
That's not
would be a
answering the
burden.
question.
It
Ish,
would
But
be
Ish,
look what
a
Poop
burden.
Ish.
It
said.
would.
Look what Poop
It
said though.
would. It
Poop,
would feel good, right?
Mhm.
yeah,
You have to find once you find that right person, it wouldn't
the right person matters.
all that fear of being able to let go because the anxiousness comes in is I don't know that this person's going to be able to lead me in
Right.
the right direction. What's going to happen to me if I trust this man, right?
Mhm.
And when you trust the person, you trust them. When the right person comes, you don't even think about it. It's not even something where you're thinking like I'm going to be submissive today. It just naturally happens. It's just there. You don't have to tell him what to do. You don't have to try to make the plans. You don't have to because he's already 2 steps ahead of you and he's already making it happen.
That's true.
He's making it
Yeah,
happen.
no, I definitely understand that because I mean, as much as we talk about this, I've never really had to deal with that in the same regard because I come in with a presence, right? So it's difficult for me to translate that sometimes because I don't see where the hiccup or the hang up is because if you lead with confidence, you lead with that type of presence, then it's not a large conversation behind it.
Right.
Yeah. There's
Yeah.
no conversation that happens when the person's right. the anxiety is there, he's not the person for you.
Yeah. Yep. And I think you're 100% correct, Poop. I think my wife and I had discourse. If I say, like, when we first start dating, I'm like, listen, in my relationship, I'm in charge. It wasn't palatable, right? But then as we operate, the operation states it. You don't even have to say it.
Right.
Saying it creates a discord, unnecessary friction. Because when shit is really hitting the fan and when we're really going through stuff, like going through the airport with two twins, like we we know what time it is. I could pick stuff up and put it down at a higher rate, like, you know, just everything, you know. So I think that's valid. B, what you think, B?
Um. Well, they all make they all make great points. But on a serious note, note,
Mm-hmm.
these topics are really good, especially when we talk about leadership and the men leading and the men can't lead and trusting a man to lead. That alpha male, that beta male, that traditional woman, that feminine woman. These are really, really good topics. Really good topics that we don't have a lot of. And I think that a lot of these women and men as well, you know, these are the type of topics that we really need to have amongst our black counterparts, amongst our black people. This is really good. This is really good.
Facts. That's why everybody should like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, right? Every single day of the week. If you're driving, you can go on Apple Podcasts. Once you subscribe on Apple Podcasts, it lets you know when a new episode is released, right? You subscribe to the YouTube, you can put your bell on so that you get alerts when we release different snippets and episodes, and then we tell you when the live is coming. We're going to start some new shows as well. So we're going to turn it into like a network thing. So I agree. Let's continue to have these conversations with substantive thought in mind and provocative thought, you know. So I don't really mess with Jerry Springer, but I do like one of his constructs. So final thoughts, Isha.
First, um, if a man wants to pay 95% of everything, he can have the audacity to ask the woman to step up and do something more. But
Bruh.
she doesn't have to agree.
Bruh.
All right.
Go out this week, chase patience, persistence, wisdom, and knowledge. See y'all next week.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a single man, do not date a woman with kids. Okay. In the words of my brother, fuck them kids. The return on investment is not going to be the same. The baby daddy's always going to get the number one respect. Them kids ain't going to respect you. Fuck them kids. Find you one with no kids. And that's all I got to say.
I think that people should unsubscribe from the strong black woman idea, and it's okay for black women to be soft and have a space to do that.
100%.
Hey,
I
you
think
got a-
moms.
Got the applause on Caviar Slim right there for her final thoughts.
It was concise, right? I think that moms do create some son husbands. I think that women sometimes overvalue the things that they deem valuable as it relates to men. So I think they probably want to analyze that to understand what men really give a shit about. And I think that if a woman remains in her femininity, as long as a man allows her to, I think that was a lot of points. If he's aggressive towards her all the time, I think it's naturally gonna take her out of that zone that he wants her to be in. But I think that if she is and she remains submissive, I think that she has so much more control than she may even notice or think. So I think that can be an awesome dynamic as long as to Poopy's point, everybody's doing their part. So like, share, subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend, and we out.
Peace, y'all.